What's happening, y'all? Here we are in the afternoon at Camp Solomon, and I want to do like a debriefing or like a analysis of what went down today, this morning, and the last couple of days actually. How it escalated, how it fed into their biases and fed into their prejudices and fed into their worldview of control and paranoia and fear, and what that means for us going forward, what it means for me going forward. I still got a flat on this bike. I gotta fix that. What does this mean for Camp Solomon? What does this mean for the world at large? What does this mean for the power structure that exists currently? What does this mean for our future as a species? And the historical context of how we got to this point, etc. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Lao Tzu famously said 2,500 years ago that the more laws there are, the more outlaws there will be. It's not easy to turn me into an outlaw. I mean, I have a penchant for like free thinking, and I don't like unnecessary rules, stupid rules that mean nothing and accomplish nothing. So I think for myself, and I apply, with God's wisdom and His help and His strength and His courage that He gives me, I do what He asks. I do it well. I do it consistently. I don't shirk back from a challenge. I don't kowtow to authority for authority's sake. I will respect godly authority. I'll respect the authority of my pastor over these four bozos that came out today. The one fat one that wrote me the tickets, he had it out for me. He had a hard on for making my life harder. And that seems to be a pattern almost universal when you hand a man a badge and a gun, no matter what denomination that takes. Forest Service, Highway Patrol, Sheriff, Deputy. It just seemed to really drink in that power. And there's something psychologically like tormented about a person who likes that kind of control. Something wrong with a person like that. Seriously wrong with a person like that. So even after the evidence of the wisdom and tact and the way I handled myself this morning, which I think I did pretty well. Like this hat. I'm going to not wear it because I think the hair looks good right now. Little vanity peeking through. Here's last night's fire. Obviously, it's fine. This tree is dropped and all the limbs are sitting right there. You can't possibly have them. Look, there's water right there. There's nothing that can catch fire going that way. The only thing that can catch fire are the twigs that I put on the fire. Now, here's the thing about all of this. Fire is not magic. It doesn't just leap into existence. It takes intelligence, and it takes design, and it takes understanding of how the processes work, and understanding of how, friction and heat and application of heat and wear and air. And you can't have a fire with one log. You got to have several logs, but they have to be close, but not too close. You can't crowd each other out. All of it is a meditation. All of it is, to me, is one of the most beautiful things you can do with your time is study fire. And so I am a student of fire. And as a student of fire, I stayed in town in Quincy. I told these guys this morning. I was very clear. I said, I stayed in town for the 2.5 weeks where there was really high fire danger, when it was dry lightning and there's no rain and my hydration mix here. I went through the struggle of being, totally homeless in Quincy, pushing a cart around, being the cart man, and not Eric. The ignominy and the shame and the soaking up all the hatreds. I don't mean to ramble forever. I don't mean to just like squirrel around these topics, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot. This means a lot. This is very actually quite important in the context of what we're doing as a species. So when your armed delegates, agents of law, various agencies come out to investigate what I'm doing, from their perspective, it looked like, with the shotgun shells laying around and the 9mm shells laying around, I had no idea how they got there. Well, the shotgun shells I brought from another camp, I was going to fill them with sage and sell them as sage bullets. You know, the perfect example of transmuting, alchemizing negativity into something cool. So they're like, and twice they came to try to talk to me, yesterday morning and afternoon, and I walked away both times. I guess in the morning I had left already. I guess I had left some coals going, very, very small, just enough twigs to boil a quart of water. And in the fire pit, as you know, come on, I can even feel it right now. I can even feel your paranoia. I can even feel your judgment. I feel it all. That's one thing about being autistic and being in touch with spirit. I feel everything. It's a lot to take in. Your doubts and your fears, they're heavy, man. They're heavy. The time we're in right now, the pain is heavy. The pain, the mistrust, the anger, the stereotypes, the judgments, the lengths you're willing to go to stop me from doing what I'm doing. Woo, it's intense, yo. It's intense. I feel it. I have compassion on y'all. I have compassion on the world. I have compassion on what's going on. I understand this is difficult. I understand it's not easy to be a human. I understand it's not easy to navigate through life in peace and not succumb to your fears and your paranoias and your apprehensions, etc. I understand that the town of Greenville burned to the ground in the Dixie Fire. I understand that there's 800 people displaced, homes burnt to the ground in a 1 million acre fire. I understand that would cause a lot of paranoia and a lot of fear and instigate a reaction, an overreaction, overprotection, and would create someone like the man, I don't even get his name, I don't care, the guy who wrote me the tickets this morning for having a fire. Y'all are denying the evidence of your senses right in front of you. Y'all are Lilliputians, and I'm Gulliver. I mean, I'm not going to succumb to hubris. Pride goes before a fall, haughty spirit before destruction. But I know who I am. I know what I'm doing. I'm fixing everything. That's what I do. I fix everything. And when I am opposed to the level that I've been opposed here, where they have demanded that I leave within 72 hours with all my possessions, without offering any kind of help or suggestions of where to go or any kind of recommendations of what would you do, sir, in my situation. Well, I wouldn't get in your situation. Well, yes, you will at some point. I just read just today in church, Luke chapter 16, where the rich man was rewarded in life, and Lazarus, the beggar, at his door, covered in sores, and the dogs came out and licked Lazarus' sores. They both pass away, and Lazarus gets taken up into Abraham's bosom and comforted for all his pains in life. And the rich man went to the outer darkness, or hell, into the fire, and was dying of thirst. And he says, "Can you just have him dip his finger in the pool there, Abraham?" And Abraham's like, "Yeah, sorry, bro, you made your choice. You're done. Can you send him back to my brothers so they'll know that this place exists?" And Jesus says, they have the law, and they have Moses to convince them. And if they're not convinced by that, they won't even be convinced when a man rises from the dead. So to come out here, to see what I've been doing, see how I've been operating, to see the evidence everywhere of my labor and my application of wisdom and my creating a comfortable space to navigate through this time, to hold fast while the shit is hitting the fan everywhere, to come out here and look at it and then oppose me. Oh boy. Yeah. You're so committed to your bullshit, dude. You can't extract that from that person, that hatred. You cannot extricate him, his erroneous thinking, his illogic. You cannot possibly pull it out of him with the man intact. It would, because that's his operating program. So to pull that out, then the body would just cease to function. So, and this is what this is what Scripture talks about with being born again. You have to be born again. You have to be born again. You have to have second sight. You have to relinquish your life, give up your life to save it. I'm going to sit down on my throne. I'm going to sit down in my chair. I'm going to sit down on where I am comfortable and where I enjoy relaxing in front of my fire pit. I painted that the other day. I think it looks pretty cool. I got the Jordans on. No, I think these are Kobe's. For that, man, what this means for this time and this, buddy, you just can't fix stupid. 50 years I've walked this earth this time around. 50 years I've studied wisdom, I've studied religion, I've studied spirituality, I've studied mysticism, I've studied esoteric knowledge of all ages and all cultures. I know Wakantanka, Great Spirit. I know about Chi and Prana and, the Hawaiian traditions, Ho'oponopono, give thanks to everything. Give thanks to the sky, give Sacagawea and Pocahontas, and give thanks to the land, give thanks to your brother sky and sister moon and brothers, give thanks for the birds, give thanks for the chipmunk, give thanks for your brothers and sisters out here. Give thanks for the cats, the wild cats that put me at risk, that might end up eating me someday. Give thanks to everything. Give thanks and give thanks and give thanks for your own existence, and give thanks that we're going the right way and that I know how to get there and that I'm leading the way. Give thanks that I'm here doing this for you. And give thanks that I have the courage to continue doing it. I'm going to clean up this camp. I'm going to put the wheels on the car. Thank God Pastor Rob has offered to come help me out. I'll get the tires installed. Hopefully can pay them off in the morning. 72 hours. And then what? Well, apparently, and then what? The then what is, according to the one that wrote me the tickets, if I'm still here, there's any evidence of me still being here, or any evidence that I made a fire in the interim, these intervening 3 days, I'm going to jail for a federal crime. I'll be a federal criminal, a fugitive from justice. Y'all, yeah, what, yeah, there's no words for the insanity of that proposition. I cannot possibly invest more energy into helping. I cannot possibly apply more wisdom into a synoptic and synergistic and serendipitous and synchronistic way of living. I cannot possibly do it with more courage or more strength or more tact or more grace than I am currently doing it with. I've made it this far without ever hurting anybody. I've made it this far without even touching a gun, ever. I made it this far without making mortal enemies, except my brother, Kenny. I made it this far. I'm not in a cage. I made it this far. I haven't retaliated against any of their onslaughts against reason and justice. I haven't. I have been tactful. I have been courteous. I've bent over backwards. I have done everything possible to be as conciliatory and respectful and all the above to their ridiculous, short-sighted, myopic, contradictory, senseless, useless, and outright wicked laws. The spirit of the law is good, but a man with faith, a man with wisdom, is a sovereign being on this planet, and I have the right to live according to my own vision. Out of respect for them, I'm not going to make a Friday night. I'm going to have a meal of cold beans and jalapeno peppers, probably. Maybe some cheese. I don't know. Something. I have cans. I don't have to heat it. It's a nice comfort. It's a nice feeling to have something warm in my belly, to make some warm coffee. The simple comforts of a domestic life, the simple comforts that were taken from me by my own brother when he sold the RV or whatever he did with it, threw my stuff away. Those simple comforts that everyone expects out of life, they've been taken from me. And that's not right. So I don't expect a lot. I don't expect, dancing girls and $1 million and a Humvee over there and a fucking helicopter pad. I don't expect weird shit. I expect to be able to eat, drink, be merry, play music, relax, sit down in a nice setting that I enjoy, and enjoy my life as an American citizen, as a citizen of this planet, as a child of God on this rock. This is my right. And watch, as I clean this up, you'll be amazed. Well, I could do it in an hour if I really wanted to. I just don't want to. I'll do it by Wednesday. I've said enough. Once again, I keep rambling. I have a lot to say. Babylon has stepped up their antics, stepped up their bullshit to the point where I have to fight back with everything I've got. And that is what I'm doing. If you're along for the ride, I could use some help. I could use a few bucks. I had no money in town today, so I haven't even really eaten today. I just had some chips just now here at camp. But I had to get all the way back here on half a bagel. That's not easy. That's not easy. That's not easy. It's not easy. What I'm doing is not easy. It would break pretty much anybody else. And that's why I know who I am. That's how I know who I am. I've been so as not to break. He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. The heathen back is against the wall. Heathen back is upon the wall. It is. And I made a reference to that this morning to them when they were here talking to me. I said, you're not ready for what's coming. The power structure will shift. You're in power right now. It's not always going to be that way. I don't have the power. You have the upper hand. You have 4 men here with weapons standing around me in a semicircle. They're very strategic in the way they stood. You have the power right now. And I'm just one man out trying to survive here and do good while I'm surviving. It's not always going to be this way. One of the guys I wanted to grill me on that subject of if I know something that's going to happen, I need to tell him, like he's the FBI or something. I don't. I just know that your system will collapse. Babylon will fall. And when it does, when the dust settles, the dust will settle right here. And this place is fire safe, and this place is clean, and this place is tidy, and this place is energetically in balance. I have some work to do, granted. I will do that work as I have always done, and I'll move on. Just pray for me, please. God bless America. Over and out.